The best part of what we know right now is, despite what happened on the cross, Jesus came back. And we know that because people saw him. People touched him. And they could tell it was really Jesus. So they knew that that was true. And you can imagine how that news spread, not just only in Israel, but across seas and to other continents. People saying, do you know, this man, he died, but he came back to life. When Miss Monica left us last week, she introduced us to one of my favorite Bible characters, a man named Saul. And if you remember, she told you Saul was one of those non-believers. In fact, he may have been there at the cross, excited to see Jesus die. But after Jesus came back, Saul was walking down the road and he realized the truth. He could see how he was wrong. And he was so excited about this new information that he wanted to tell everybody. Now, it was just one guy. He couldn't get everywhere. So you know what he started to do? You know how he shared this good news? Writing letters. He started writing letters to his friends in this church over here. And he started writing letters to his friends in this church over there saying, it's real. It really is real. I didn't believe, now I do. He is alive. It is true. And in one of those letters, Paul talked about what it was like to have Jesus living inside you. Now, this is what is this, Garrett? Why would I wear this glove? Because I need it. When would you wear a glove? Maybe if it's cold?
Maybe it's snowing.
Maybe it's snowing, Luca? It's raining. Maybe if I'm going to a fancy party or a tea or gardening, I might wear a glove. But look, this glove cannot help me like it is, can it? It can't catch a ball. It can't dig in the garden. Really can't do anything. It can't write. But what happens if I put my hand in it?
Do it.
How does my glove change?
I can't do it.
All of a sudden, I could catch a ball. I could dig in the garden. My hand would be warmer if I was trying to keep it warm from snow. I could garden, couldn't I? And that is like Jesus living in our hearts.
And then the glove.
That's like Jesus living in our hearts. And you know what, Luca? It could write. And you know what, Luca? In this letter, Paul said, if Jesus is living in your heart, guess what? He plants seeds. Seeds that turn into fruit. And he lists 9 fruits. Show me 9. 9. Some of them sound really easy. We know what they are. Some of them we'll talk about more this week. But some of the fruits he talks about is apples. It's a fruit. But what is this fruit that grows inside of us?
Love.
Love. We know what love is, don't we?
Yeah.
And we know what that feels like here. So we have love. It's a lemon, but what do we think that word says?
Joy.
Joy. We can see that on our face. Show me joy. We know what joy looks like, don't we? We know what it feels like growing inside of us, and we see it on our face.
Joy a lot. Orange.
It is an orange, but this is peace. Take a deep breath. Feel that peace. Feel how that feels. Yet a third thing that grows inside of us. Oh boy.
Banana.
It is a banana, but it's talking about patience. Okay, patience can be very difficult when you're waiting and waiting and waiting. And you know what? Do you want to try waiting 1 minute? Do you want to see how long it takes for 1 minute?
1 hour.
No, Lisa, we're going to try a minute first. Then we'll set our goals higher. Okay, on your mark, get set. This is patience. And breathe. That was 1 minute. We had to be patient for 1 minute. If you thought that was a little hard, raise your hand. I'll be honest. I thought it was a little hard. How patient are we right now that in 2.5 weeks school is out? Patience. So we've talked about love, joy, peace, patience, and kindness. What does it mean to be kind? To help others. To help others. What else? Stand up for each other.
Be very nice.
But what does that look like?
Or give them a hug.
Give someone a hug. It means a hug. Anne Marie.
Excuse me. Or have a smile.
Those are just 5 of the fruits we're going to talk about. Listen, these are a little bit harder to imagine. We're going to talk about goodness. We're going to talk about self-control. What does that mean? We're going to talk about gentleness. And we're going to talk about faithfulness. All those seeds are planted in our heart once Jesus is living in our heart. And you can see now why that message was so important to Paul, that he had to write and tell everybody he knew about what could happen if Jesus is living in your life. I'm looking around and I am very joyful and in love with the idea that we have 2 birthdays. I bet one is